Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 390. And as you can tell, we're back just like we promised. Back in the studio, at least for a few days. I'm going to be here. Thursday, I head out to Mexico to get my daughter, get her back to the United States. She's been there studying Spanish for 15 months, and time for her to come home. So Dad's got to run to Mexico. Shouldn't affect our daily updates, maybe, but hopefully not. We're back, rested, good to go. Zhenya's doing well. He's continuing to rest there in Amsterdam, and all is well. So thank you for being here. Glad to be back, to be quite honest. And really shocking, when I got home, you guys have purchased so much gear once again off the Amazon list. We're just loaded again, and in fact, gonna be updating that shopping list to reflect more of a spring summer type need. It's going to be technical gloves. Of course, it's going to be medical supplies, but the cold weather gear will move out. We'll move in the warmer weather gear. So as always, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And let's jump right to it. Folks, day 390. Are you kidding me? Tonight's update, probably one of the most important ones that I've shared over 390 days. Why? Because there's a lot of things that is happening beneath the scenes. Some are very obvious, but some are hidden. And you guys know that if you're here with me at all, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I hate conspiracies, but I'm here to tell you there's some crazy stuff going on in this world right now. And the epicenter of it, of course, is Ukraine. But that includes economic fallout. That includes chaos in the United States, what is happening in Israel, Iran, China, Syria, North Korea. We can continue, but we'll pause it right there, focusing tonight on three main things. First of all, Xi Jinping in Moscow for a few days. We're going to go over that. We're going to analyze that. I've got some translations ready for you to go. We must understand what is happening. Secondly, of course, you guys know Vladimir Putin was in Mariupol. We're going to talk about that because that is key, especially after the International Criminal Court comes out with their charges, their warrant for the arrest of Vladimir Putin. Folks, this is madness, what is happening in our world. But together, we're trying to muddle through it every day, day by day. Support the people of Ukraine, support a nation that is being wiped off the planet, and hunt for truth while we're doing it. So thank you for being here. Let's jump right to it. Tonight, I want to start by looking at the map. It's been a week since we've been on here together, and I can tell you the front lines have pretty much stayed the same. Here you can see the outline of Ukraine. One of the things that, if you've been here with me, you know we've been to every front line there is. We know all of these places, and we will be back to them again. But I can tell you the front lines are really not moving. What we're having is a grinding by the Russian military. I don't care what you're reading or hearing. Right now, Russia is gaining ground on all fronts. It's not by kilometers, it's by meters, but they are gaining it. And what they are doing is basically enacting scorched earth policy as they go. Basically meter by meter taking that territory. So we're going to bounce up here into the Kharkiv region where we're at here. I've got it into the English language for us. Of course, we spent much time there, but I want to come down. Of course, you can see the green is going to be territory that Ukraine has liberated. Once again, Russia is pushing back, and they are taking some territory here. One of the places that we need to pay attention to is right here. It's the town of Kreminna. If I come out, you can see Russia has put quite a bit of supply, soldiers, and preparations for offensive in the Kreminna region. Why? Because they want to push in here towards Zarichny, Yampil. Of course, they want to come back, and as we've always talked about, get back to this M3 highway. I can tell you here is Zoom. We've spent lots of time in a Zoom, Everything is absolutely destroyed there. It's gone. We have the key cities here. I'll zoom back in of Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, and Konstantinivka. This little loop road right here that you're seeing. Of course, some of the main towns that we need to pay attention to, the hottest battles, of course, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka. We're going to look at those right quickly here. And first, we'll look at Bakhmut. You can see the main highway here. Of course, we've been on all these roads. We've dropped medical aid supplies in all these regions. But Bakhmut, over 50% of it now is occupied by Russian forces. And of course, they're trying to surround. The key is to get control of this road right here outside of Bakhmut. And Russia is making a push on that. Ukraine is still defending it, but Bakhmut's going to fall. Period. It's just holding out, but it's going to fall. The second one we need to look at is Avdiivka. Russia has making a strong push for Avdiivka. This is right outside of Donetsk. This is right outside of the Donetsk airport. You can see the Donetsk airport from this. Of course, the city of Donetsk is right here, a major city, million people plus there. But Avdiivka, this city is much like Bakhmut. The surrounding is coming. Russia is pushing a lot of forces up into the southern villages below Avdiivka, and that is being smashed right now. The other one that we need to pay attention to, and maybe you're not hearing about these, is Marinka. Marinka is being leveled to the ground. And what we need to pay attention to is this. If you look at Marinka here, it's on the key highway heading to Zaporozhye. We've burned these roads up, of course. And then, of course, Avdiivka. Coming out of Avdiivka, you're pushing two roads, pushing towards Pokrovsk again, and also pushing up toward Konstantinivka. Very key towns here that Russia's making a lot of efforts for. And then, of course, Bakhmut. And we know all about Bakhmut. I want to show you a video right now. This is actually from a couple of days ago from Bakhmut, but it tells you the level of devastation. And what I'm going to show you here is Bakhmut, but I actually have video of Bakhmut, of Avdiivka, and Marinka. You could put that name on any of these. They are all the same. Here it is. This is Bakhmut. Just shocking drone footage there out of Bakhmut, but the same images. It's not just Bakhmut and Avdiivka and Marinka. I'm telling you, it's every village. They're leveling them, and that's exactly what they look like. So when you read the news, you hear the news, and you think, what is it really like? That drone footage there is exactly what it looks like because it's real footage. And that was Bakhmut. But all of these frontline villages are the same. Now, if we jump over here and continue working our way towards Zaporozhye, the lines are staying the same. It's just, when I was there and talking to the guys, I said it's just a line that's not moving. And both sides are just demolishing each other. It's a horrible, horrible World War II like war. And I'm not even sure it's like that. I've watched a lot of documentaries on World War II. My grandfather was a veteran of World War II, and it seems those lines maybe even moved quicker. That some of this is just madness, what is happening here, all the way over toward Kherson, and these lines aren't moving, but the destruction is going crazy every day. No matter what you see, read, or hear, it's every day, nonstop destruction and devastation. Now, with that said, you're very well aware that Vladimir Putin went to Mariupol. I don't want to hear about the conspiracies. Oh, well, that was forget all that mess. Vladimir Putin went to Mariupol, drove his car around the streets of Mariupol in the public, went into people's homes, broke bread with them. Right after a warrant was issued for his arrest by the International Criminal Court. That's what you call thumbing your nose at the world and world opinion. Folks, if you ever had any hope that maybe Putin will come to his senses, Putin will change his mind, Putin will just back out, forget it. He's going to thumb his nose. And after today and the 3 days that are happening with Xi Jinping in Moscow, you can forget it. He's going all the way until the end. And many of you may say, well, he's got terrible health. He's going to die. They've got another one ready. This is what is happening right now, and nothing's going to change. This drive around Mariupol was absolutely planned. It was intentional. It was a thumb your nose at the world and welcome my dear friend Xi Jinping. Most likely now. Sorry, I bleed red, white, and blue. American. Maybe the most powerful man in the world right now, Xi Jinping. It's definitely not the president of the United States. That's a fact. So we'll see. But this Mariupol trip was absolutely intentional and a thumb against the rest of the world. Now, with that said, Russia today comes out and they file charges against those connected to the ICC. We've just got chaos and madness going on. I promise you, nobody's going to roll up into the Kremlin and arrest Vladimir Putin. Nobody. It is, of course, important. It's an international statement, but it changes nothing. If anything, it's going to make this war worse because now there's going to be a more emboldened propaganda movement. There's going to be more strength and power coming out of these relationships that Vladimir Putin feels encouraged by with Iran and, of course, China. It's going to be gloves off, folks. And we're coming into the spring and we're coming into the summer. And I'm here to tell you, Ukraine is struggling to get supplies to the front. Period. I don't care what you've read or what you've seen. I'm telling you, they're struggling to get supplies to the front. And a lot of that is NATO. A lot of that is other nations' faults. I can't share with you everything that I know, but I'm just telling you, it's not Ukraine. A lot of pressure being put on them from other nations due to the fear of Vladimir Putin. Now, I want to focus for the rest of the time tonight on Xi Jinping coming to Moscow. Very important. I've got some of that translated for you guys tonight. You're going to see this. You're going to hear this. You're going to feel this. You don't have to read between the lines and wonder if there's a relationship there. There's already information coming out that Chinese ammunition is being used by Russian forces. It's already been validated. They've been tested. They've been looked at. They've been analyzed. We know it's happening, but it's going to come on a larger scale. I promise you it's going to happen because Russia and China, these two dictators, Xi and Putin, have a bond now that they're fighting against the West. They're fighting against Europe. They're fighting against these values. This is very reminiscent of about December 1941, January 1942, about a year and a half into World War II. This is what began to happen, and we're watching it all over again. History may not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme, and this is what we're witnessing. So let me show you some of this. Here's Xi arriving, full band, full honors, Moscow. no, that is not a Ukrainian flag there in blue and yellow. That is that battalion's military flag. So there you have Xi Jinping arriving with all the honors, the band. It's not just some foreign leader coming and there's a handshake. We've got the full honors happening. Now, some of the things that happened in their initial conversations today, very, very interesting, and we must pay attention to them. First of all, make no mistake, no doubt about it. Xi and Putin are not just allies, but they're friends.
Уважаемый президент Путин, я всегда называю вас как моим дорогим другом.
我非常高兴能够应你之约再一次访问俄罗斯，并且是在我
Dear friends, please do not miss this. March the 20th, 2023, we're seeing an alliance come to public recognition. No hiding. You're my friend. Now, what happens after that? Putin's got to give his statement back. Well, my dear friend, make sure you understand we respect everything you share with us. Now, this is in regard to maybe China's peace proposal or their plans for peace in the war in Ukraine, which United States is already rejecting because China will want to leave Russian forces on sovereign Ukrainian territory. That's not happening. Period. Ukraine's going to fight till the end for their sovereign territory, their land, their culture, and their people. So it's not going to happen. But Putin comes out and says, hey, brother, you know, we do respect you.
Вы также в курсе, что мы всегда открыты для переговорного процесса.
对谈判进程一直敞开这个大门。
Обсудим, безусловно, все эти вопросы, в том числе и ваши инициативы.
所以说，我们将来有机会详细的讨论这些问题。
К которым мы относимся, безусловно, с уважением.
Folks, are y'all getting this? This is not through earpieces. This is an open table, two chairs conversation that these world leaders are stating openly. Now, the interesting thing about it is I don't know how many people are getting this stuff translated into English. We have it here so that we can share it with you. Just little bits and pieces, but for sure in the Russian language and the Chinese language, very open and clear. But here's a little bit of the English translation, wide open for the world to see. Now, Xi comes back and says, okay, we're friends. Putin says, we respect you, your recommendations, your advices. Now Xi's going to come back. Well, you know, Vladimir Vladimirovich, you've got an election next year. We support you 100% in your re-election. You've done so many great things for this nation. Folks, Xi, in what you're getting ready to hear, gives value and accreditation to the genocide in Ukraine. Forget what's happening in Russian politics, the rest of the world. This is an approval of what the Russian military is doing in Ukraine. And I remind you, the Mariupol trip, not by accident, perfect timing for the world to see what happened. Here's what Xi is saying. And while he's saying this, watch Vladimir's face, gloating.
总统先生坚定的支持。
Я знаю, что в будущем году в вашей стране произойдут очередные президентские выборы. Благодаря вашим сильным руководству за последние годы России добились значительных успехов в деле достижения успехов и процветания страны. Уверен, что российский народ сильно вас поддержит в ваших добрых начинаниях.
确实，我们两个国家呢有很多相同或者相似的。
Did you see the gloat? Thank you, President Xi. Yes, I know I'm great. I know my country's doing awesome. Yeah, we're wiping Ukraine off the planet. We're wrecking Africa. Yeah, we're partnering with Iran. And I appreciate you being here, supporting me 100%, and telling the world that I'm the greatest leader. Come on, folks. Watch it. It's happening right in front of your face. We must pay attention to this. Once again, back to my theory, Ukraine being the epicenter. Ultimately, this is moving to World War III. Israel is going to become the epicenter. Ezekiel 38. Very simple to see. Every day, it's getting stronger and stronger as to what is happening. Now, that's what happened today. Of course, she's going to be there a couple more days. Who knows what's going to happen? But I can tell you this, propagandist. Remember, not just some talking head at some news organization like whatever's in your country, maybe Sky News in Britain or Australia or Fox, CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, whatever around here in the U.S. that are journalists. Well, they're not really journalists. They're their own type of propagandists. But in Russia, these guys I'm showing you are pushed, propped up, initiated, funded by the Kremlin. They are the mouthpiece of Russian activity and the mouthpiece of what Vladimir Putin is doing. They instantly start running with it. And here is part one of that, talking about the Russian Constitution.
Что касается мира, план мирный у китайцев пойдет, годный, нормально, изучим, рассмотрим, но мир в самом деле прямо сейчас нам не нужен, точнее нужен, но пойти на него мы не можем, просто потому что у нас есть наша Конституция, есть записанные в ней области, нам надо дойти до освободить Херсонское, Запорожское, устало говорить уже одно и то же, но ситуация в этом смысле совсем никак не меняется. Поэтому китайские коллеги не смогут нас принудить при всей любви к китайским коллегам нарушить нашу же российскую Конституцию. Победим, и тогда мир наступит. Пока не победили, мир не устраивает.
There you have it. Peace is not coming. We love our Chinese friends, but we remind you, we have a constitution, and the constitution that has been ratified in Moscow states clearly that the maps are redrawn Lugansk region, Donetsk region, Zaporozhye region, and Kherson region are Russian sovereign territory. That includes the cities of Kherson and Zaporozhye. They're Russian sovereign territory according to our constitution. Therefore, we must take care, liberate, set free, and protect our own land. Of course, all built upon lies and not real. I can remember when we were traveling into Kherson here, and we were coming in, we had Andrew with us, and just a great guy there, Andrew Kimmel. Thank you, buddy. And we're continuing to work together. You're going to see all kind of crazy stuff coming here over the next few weeks and months. But Kherson, the city where we spent so much time, massive city there. We came into Kherson and we told Andrew, said, hey, buddy, you realize you're in Russia now? He said, what? Well, according to the Russian Constitution, we're in Russia. What? Yeah, Kherson is Russia. Zaporozhye is Russia, according to their constitution that they ratified in the Duma. That's why these propagandists are saying it's ours. Thank you for your plan, China. But we love you. But we got a war to fight. Peace is not coming anytime soon. Folks, that's the truth. Now, one last piece I want to show you tonight. What comes from all this? What is the end game of these few days of incredible activity? More support for Vladimir Putin. That's what's coming.
Это самая высшая оценка, положительная оценка работы нашего президента. Я это так расцениваю, и хочу заметить, что вот даже те люди, с которыми я сталкиваюсь, постоянно мне звонят, даже те, которые очень скептически относились к президенту Путину и курсу, сейчас они его поддерживают. То есть, попросту говоря, вот это действие, которое предпринял Международный уголовный суд, а он это сделал однозначно по указанию Соединенных Штатов Америки и глобальных элит, но он имел сугубо обратный эффект. То есть в действительности наш президент получил еще большую поддержку в нашей стране, и это очень хорошо.
You know, that's exactly what we're seeing tonight. Mariupol, intentional for Vladimir Putin going there. Secondly, a reminder that Russia has adopted new constitutional measures that states that these 4 regions are Russian sovereign territory. Third, ICC, the criminal court, puts out an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. And then what happens? Instead of Xi saying, you know, Vlad, I better wait a few days before I come visit you. You know, you've got the arrest warrant. Maybe we'll meet at some other location. Maybe you come to Beijing, or we could go to Hawaii. Joke. No, nothing changed. We're coming on a massive state visit. Arrest warrant? Who cares? We can't stand America. We can't stand the West, Europe, and for sure Ukraine. We're going to stick it right in their eye. I'm coming, buddy. My friend, I support you. Your reelection. What's going on? We're watching these things happen right in front of our eyes. Folks, that's what's happening today on day 390. Honestly, a huge day. When you zoom out and take a look at all of the things coming together, we're going the wrong direction. That's as clear as I can say it. We're going the wrong direction, and it needs to be rectified. And it's only going to be rectified when there are some real leaders who stand up and take a stand against this evil coming out of Moscow and Beijing. So, folks, there you have it. Thank you for being here tonight. Day number 390. And yes, it feels good to be back in my chair. Whew. Quite a 3 months almost there in Ukraine. And honestly, I was war slam out. Feeling good. Feel the love. Many of you have sent messages for that. We say thank you. Continue to support. Give. We're not stopping. We're going until the end. I'll give you some language here. Мы помогаем до конца. We will help until the end. We're going to continue to build this community. Thank you for sharing, liking, telling your neighbors, hitting some things on the Amazon list when you get an extra $20. Let's help the people. And for those of you who are getting new members on Patreon, thank you for that. That goes to help all these translations. We're doing everything that we can, but we couldn't do it without you. And I believe this is key for what's happening in the world right now. We're going to stick with it until the end. So thank you. We love you guys, and we will see you in 23 hours. Have a good night.